Great. I want to bring you greetings from A Rocha Kenya in Watamu. We felt it would be good to give you an update of how things are going here and some news on our programs, and particularly in the situation that we find ourselves with COVID-19. We do think and pray very much for those elsewhere, particularly in Europe and North America, who are suffering far worse than we are really here. Though, of course, we have the fear that things might get a lot worse in time in Kenya. But to date, thankfully, we're not too bad off. For us here, we're finding really we're not under complete lockdown. We do have a county lockdown. Our team are working at home, most of them. Some of the team we've had to put on unpaid leave effectively because we have no guests here at the center, of course. And so they've had to go off work, and we're just paying them something small to be able to buy food at least. But otherwise, our team is spread out, and we're still trying to work out the means of which we're going to work as a team under the new regime, really, which looks like it's going to last for certainly a few months, and we need to try and be more effective in that way. But otherwise, our programs are still functioning, pretty much. The work in Dakacha, where we're buying land to create the nature reserve there, is pushing on. Stanley is doing an excellent job, still visiting the communities there, still talking with landowners, still pushing ahead the purchase of land. We've reached about 1,200 acres in size, and we're looking to expand that. This past month we've had camera traps out to take photographs of mammals, and one of the traps was fixed to a tree in a plot where all the big trees were removed, and the only tree left was the one which the camera is attached to. Just showing how urgent it is that we are purchasing land. That was in a bit of land outside the reserve, and we need to try and secure that land where the Sokoke scops owl, the elephant shrew, and the Sokoke pipit occur, so that we can protect it for the long term. So we're really grateful for those who've donated. We still need to raise funds for that, and at the same time we're working with the local communities. The Farming God's Way work, that's had to stop because of the COVID-19 situation. Patrick, who's our man on the ground there, is just phoning the farmers every now and then to try and keep in touch with them. And George, who's doing the care of creation teaching in the churches, that is going alongside the Farming God's Way work, is also trying to keep in touch but can't actually go and meet the people. So that makes it difficult. Maggie, who's our environmental education officer, has had to go on leave, which is just finishing now. We've got to try and think of what to do next with education work, because the schools are not in, and so she has nothing she can do in the field. We're toying with the idea of maybe a radio station, and we'd value your prayers and thoughts on wisdom for moving that one ahead. On the community side still, assets, our Arabuko Sokoke Schools and Ecotourism Scheme. We've taken on enough students to make about 100. This year, about 30 probably new students came on board. We paid the first term bursaries, and we're in a bit of limbo really, waiting to see how things will pan out. One big news item was that Festus, who was our coordinator for the assets program for many years, he's moved on to new things, so we need to find someone to replace him. There's not really a great hurry right now, but we do want to pray about getting the right person in, because it's such a major project with such a lot of potential there. On the research side, we've had to cut back a lot on fieldwork because of the restrictions with the COVID-19 situation. We would have hoped to have done some nights of wader ringing and so on, also to visit Dakacha and do some more survey work there. But we've managed to keep doing some field work. The marine work particularly has continued on a low level. Eric, our researcher, has been working with another volunteer, Dawn, to look at coral bleaching, which has actually turned out to be quite serious this year. And we're looking to try and do that as a long-term monitoring thing of the condition of the reef. Otherwise, we're using quite a bit of the time to try and get our data in order and to do some publication and write-up and so on. And we're very blessed to have Raf and Amaline Nusumbal with us. Raf is a number cruncher of note and very productive in helping us get some publications out. Amaline's helping with the communications, and it's been really good to have them here and to try and get some outputs. So keep an eye open for some of those. Otherwise, they're the only ones here at Mwamba currently. together with one other volunteer, Apollo, and a renowned entomologist from the National Museums of Kenya, Mike Clifton, who'd been collecting moths and butterflies and all sorts of interesting bugs and beetles. Some of them may be new for science. You might see one published, A Rocha or something soon, which could be quite fun. We're grateful to be able to partner with some other local partners. Local Ocean Conservation have been great. We're working together with them to try and provide some rapid relief to some of the local community members, many of whom have absolutely no form of income now. Otherwise, we're just very grateful for being here, and right now it's been the bird migration happening, and it's just been struck me how creation continues all the same despite what is going on around us in the world, and how God is a faithful God and who will keep us during these hard times. We don't know quite what's going to happen, but we can trust him, knowing that he will hold us and keep us through. So we're grateful to you for your support. Thank you for those who contributed to the campaign for raising funds for the kitchen equipment. That went over and above our expectations. We will need to do further fundraising. Thank you in advance for those who can give. We really appreciate you, and look forward to sharing with you further news of how we're doing in due course.